right. Hello, everyone. Come join me. Come join me for the conversation today. I am Dr. Natalie Phillips, host of Just Connect, and I am excited to talk about our topic tonight. Before we get there, though, I want to remind people that if you're just coming in, share this out with someone that you might think might need this topic tonight about connections in business. And don't forget to turn your notifications on so that you know when I go live. Here is also a reminder that you can follow me on YouTube. So if you miss this broadcast, that you can go to YouTube and watch it, or you can come here on Facebook. But when you go to YouTube, you want to make sure that you are following me, Dr. Natalie Phillips. Subscribe and then hit the notification bell. So that's YouTube. I also want to show you that if you've missed anything as well, that you are also able to look at how I categorize my videos. So watch this real quick here. Awesome. So if you saw that, then you can see that my videos on YouTube are also categorized so you can find them faster based on the topic that I talk about, or maybe how I categorize it into groups or folders. So I will be right back. Hang on here, invite people in, and enjoy this intro video. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips, host of Just Connect. I am an audiologist, a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a connector. This life is about connecting for the right reasons and to the right people. I believe making authentic and true connections lead to growth, change, and impacting the world. All right. Okay. So as you guys are coming in, I have a great topic. Well, at least I think it's a great topic today because it's going to talk more about um, business connections, because I have been working with some different people, and they had asked me, how do I make these business connections? How do you get all these different opportunities? Where do I start? And so I was thinking about that today, and I wanted to cover that today because I thought it was a really, really interesting topic. And, when I work with my clients, sometimes I just talk and I don't think about, what I'm telling them. And so this time I kind of wrote things down. I thought, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to take note of what I'm telling you so that way I can make sure that I can share it with other people. So come on in if you're just coming on in. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips. I am the host of Just Connect. And today we're going to talk about some really quick ideas of how to make business connections. Again, this all stemmed from a couple of different clients that I have been working with and having these different conversations. And, I wanted to make sure that people were able to jump on in, maybe share what they're doing to make business connections, but then also, if you have a great idea, share it out. Put it in the comments. I'm so happy to see my dear friend Corey Workman up in Estes Park. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. You always join me. I love that you join me from Estes Park, and I get to see you here. So thank you for being here. All right. So I am thinking about how to teach people how to connect to different people, or different business connections. And I've got three different ways that I've kind of narrowed it down a little bit. And number one, you know, I know that you guys have heard of this, and it is to invest in yourself. But what exactly does that mean? A lot of people say, yeah, you just want to make sure that you invest in yourself. What's some of the things that come to your mind when you say investing in yourself? So, Leanne Reinsmith, I see that you're on as well with Corey Workman. So, hello. Okay, both of you that are on here, I know that there's a few more other people on here as well. When you hear the terms invest in yourself, what exactly does that mean? To me, as I was sharing this with people, it means to me attending conferences. As you know, I'm an audiologist, but I'm also a business owner. So attending conferences both as an audiologist in my industry, in my profession, but then also it also tells me that I have to invest in myself outside of the industry. So a lot of us have gone to school for certain things, right? and that's our degree, and that's what we, that's what we're doing in work on a daily basis. But I also want to talk about stepping outside of your industry and your profession to be able to attend conferences that might not have anything to do with your profession in order to learn. So thank you, Leanne. You are saying that invest in education and personal development, right? So how did you do that, Leanne? I'm gonna try to be as uh you know we're going to collaborate as much as possible. So Leanne says invest in education and personal development. Leanne is amazing because she owns a spa and salon. And tell our listeners and tell people that are tuning in, share with me, what did you do to invest in your education? Was it always within that world of, you know, um, your spa and that type of thing, or what other types of things did you do for personal development? So thank you for sharing, and let me know. Again, we're talking about ideas that you can do to invest in yourself. So for me, I do go and attend audiology conferences, but I also at least once a year attend a conference that has nothing to do with audiology. So, I have done, or I do a mastermind, or I do something that invests in myself. I do have to pay the money in order to learn from other people outside of my industry so that I can bring it back in, or I can just learn to better myself or a business that I'm running, right? And so last year I attended the Rise and Grind conference. That's where I met a lot of you guys face to face that are tuning in. I also actually last year I also, okay, I did two. Last year I also attended a conference called the Circular Summit. And so I came back and I got on the show and I shared some of the things that I learned. And so some of those things where you're able to mix with entrepreneurs, business owners, things like that, that is where you want to invest in yourself. Now, I'm going to take it a step forward, forward. And it's not only talking about getting yourself there to the actual conference, right? Paying the airfare and the hotel and things like that. It's not just about that. But, I want you to think about when you are going to invest in yourself, have a plan. So don't just attend, but sit down by somebody that you don't know and start talking to them. Start talking to them about whatever you feel like you want to talk about. I had a tribe from the Rise and Grind conference that I had no plans. All I was going to do was show up. But it ended up that I spent the whole evening with three special, special people. And they became really great confidants and mentors, supporters, encouragers, things like that. So, did I know that I was going to head to the Rise and Grind conference and walk away with some great, amazing mentors and friends? Absolutely not. But I put myself in that situation because it's not only about attending something, but it's having a plan, sitting down next to somebody that you might not know, having that dinner right after the conference is over, things like that. Have goals when you get there, like I'm going to meet 3 to 5 new people, things like that. I'm going to meet 2 people a day, that's new. I'm going to exchange cards. Have goals that you have when you invest in yourself and you attend a conference. Leanne Rhinesmith comes back on. Thank you guys so much for being part of the show here. She says online courses, conferences, working with a business mentor, reading, collaboration with others. Awesome. Yes. And I can see all of that. And I'm like, check, 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 check. Corey, who is another fellow audiologist, says continuing ed, podcast, conferences, mentors, and mentoring. Awesome. So that is awesome. I think that it's great to invest in yourselves in different things. Have a plan. I know Corey uses a lot of bullet point journaling, right? And so I think that for him, he shared with me that he's got a lot of different goals that he reaches, and that helps. So it helps not only to think about, yes, I'm going to put out the money to invest in myself, but have a plan of action when you go there, right? So we talked about attending conferences. We talked about putting yourself out there. We talked about sitting next to people that you don't know, having a goal of how many people do you want to meet, or what do you want to get completed at this conference. And then also I'm going to throw in one more thing while you're at this conference. So just ideas that if you're going to invest in yourself, if you're going to put yourself out there to attend a workshop, a conference, try to go one extra step and do something a little bit more to challenge yourself. Use social media or technology to connect. So whether that's connecting by Twitter, I did a how to use Twitter or when you're attending a conference. And what I did, and I know this is a little overboard for people who just think, oh my gosh, Twitter is just like, I can't keep up. But what I did was I looked up the speakers beforehand, the companies. So I knew all of their handle names. So as I was sitting there at the conference, I could simply look at I did make a chart and of their handle names, and I was able to post something or tweet something with their handle names, because I did the homework before to be able to use social media at this event. So that is a plan of action. That's taking it just a little bit further, right? Corey Workman says bullet journals changes your life. So that's awesome. I'm going to have you on so that you could talk to me a little bit more about bullet journals, and maybe we can teach this to somebody that might want to learn about bullet journals. So let's private message after this, because I feel like that would be a really, really cool episode. All right. So that's about, invest in yourself. That's number one. I've got three ideas to take it a little bit further, and use social media, use technology, use an electronic business card, something that will catch somebody's eye and think, huh, this person's a little more innovative than I thought, or I might want to stay connected with this person. And look how easy it is to stay connected to this person because they are into technology or they are looking at different innovative ideas. That's a cool person that I want to stay connected to. So, again, the goal of tonight is to talk about, how do I make connections in business? How do you keep those connections going, right? Where do you find these opportunities? The first one was investing in yourself. The second idea is use social media appropriately. So I put this out there because I did a show, and I think that I did like the 3 C's of connection using social media. And I know a lot of you laughed at me because I did add a fourth C, and I did say something about like, don't be a creeper. And so I use it again, use social media appropriately, because I think that it is very, very easy to use social media to connect to somebody in this day and age, right? I had a friend. This is the story that came up, and I had a friend who came to me, and she had this great idea. She had. I can't. I'm not going to share her idea because I don't want to spoil it. But she had this great idea, and she didn't know how to reach out to people, so she just kept posting and kept being herself. And finally, somebody came on and followed her from this company, from this organization that she wanted to just kind of catch their eye, right? And so she came to me and she said, "Oh my gosh, somebody reached out to me. What do I do?" And I said, "Well, okay, let's talk this through, because you don't want to just fly in for the ask right away, right? You have to generate this rapport. You have to make sure that you connect them in a right way, and genuinely, before you ask them for either advice or whatever it is that you have to ask of them." And so she had reached out to me. And so we kind of like, I love this term, but we kind of like massaged her connection a little bit. And so I said, okay, here's the deal. I said, just start talking. All you have to do is just like as if you were out to have coffee with somebody and you just wanted to know a little bit more about them. So just start that way. And so she did. All she did was she started talking about, hey, what do you do? And I saw that you followed me. That's kind of cool. Things like that. Just any other type of connection that you would make. It's not anything special. We all know how to do this face to face, but it's just slightly different when you do it in social media, because somebody's reading the text versus, right, having body language or anything that's coming out. So you want to make sure that when you make a first connection on social media, that you do it very appropriately. Just because you guys are both hidden behind a screen does not necessarily mean that you go in for the kill and you ask your ask right away. You have to create that rapport, and you have to create that connection genuinely. That's the huge thing before you can start talking about an idea or talking about something or getting their advice. And so, there were some ground rules that we kind of set up with her. And, she's excited because it's something that, whether or not this idea comes through or not for her, she's very excited because she has this now new connection that if she didn't reach out by social media, or this person didn't reach out by social media to see what she was doing, this would have never happened. And that's what I'm saying, you guys. Like, social media and technology is huge if you use it appropriately and correctly. So that's one way of using social media is, if you make a connection, you want to make sure that you genuinely massage that connection. Sometimes I thought also about LinkedIn. Sometimes LinkedIn bothers me, and I don't know how you guys feel about LinkedIn. So tell me what you think. I'll put it up here in the comments. But sometimes LinkedIn bothers me because of what I just said. With LinkedIn, it is so business and professional oriented that sometimes it bugs me when somebody just connects and tells me exactly what they want. However, on the flip side, I'm like, well, at least they just asked and I can say no. And most of the times, because it's so professional, that they leave you alone if you just say, no, I'm not interested at this time. Right. But to me, LinkedIn is very much more go in for the ask right away. Hey, I'm out there. I'm trying to network. It's very and professional. So for those of you who like LinkedIn and you like those asks right away, put it in the comments for those, or give me a thumbs up or a heart. If those of you who don't like those asks right away and you're like, ugh, there's somebody that I don't even know bothering me right now, you know, I don't know. I think there's a thumbs down, right? Yeah, there's a thumbs up, thumbs down, or put it in the comments. So LinkedIn is another way that if you like that type of thing, like going in right away, that is where you connect on LinkedIn. You have some sort of way that you can have that ask. But again, I am more responsive to LinkedIn asks if they took a little bit of time to look at my profile, just a little bit, and knew what I was doing or knew who I was, and then incorporated that into their ask versus I see that this is just a copy and paste ask. And so, like, no. So tell me what you think about LinkedIn if you're on here and you have some thoughts about that. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. So that's another way that you can use social media appropriately. If you like that type of platform and you want to just make that connection quickly as networking, use LinkedIn. Um, Appropriately also means using the right hashtags. So it was interesting because this morning when I put my post up, I actually hashtag entrepreneurship in a tweet, and a small business development center in Texas actually um, retweeted me and commented on it. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. So if you use hashtags appropriately, use the business hashtag, use the entrepreneurship hashtag. These are going to make people find you when they might not have otherwise found you if you didn't use that hashtag. A hashtag, remember, is a search engine. So if people are like, I'm going to wake up and grab my phone and I wonder what people are talking about entrepreneurship. And if you hashtagged a tweet that morning about entrepreneurship, you're going to come up and they're going to see you, and they might like it, and they might share it, retweet it, whatever. So when you use hashtags appropriately, again using social media, it's going to get you connected to people that may not have been able to connect to you or see you because they didn't even know you were out there. All right, what do I have? Corey Workman talks about LinkedIn. Okay, so he says, LinkedIn, I get too many business service requests, at least a couple a week. I would rather build a connection first. Absolutely. Okay, so you're kind of like me, Corey, where I don't know, sometimes LinkedIn, if it's too harsh and too quick, um, I don't like that. I like to be courted a little bit, or I actually like just for people to know about me and ask me what I'm doing, right? And so that's the developing rapport portion of it. So thank you, Corey. Thank you for sharing that. So, second idea was to use social media appropriately. And then the last idea that I thought is, you know what? People ask me all the time, yeah, but how do you get to these different connections or opportunities? You know what? If they're not opportunities out there, get out there and create your own environments. What does that mean? Okay, guys. So creating your own environments mean hold a workshop in your town, in your local town, invite people to it, put it on Facebook, make it an event, on Facebook, make a meetup meeting, and have something topic that you're good at, create your own environment to connect. Run events if you want to run events. A lot of the times that's how I did it. It was is I paired with somebody and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a great topic, and we can expand on that, and we can bring lots of different speakers in, we can bring a panel in, and you know what, we'll get sponsors. And I worked with the team to put on events. I am creating my own environments to connect if I can't find some. But I'm telling you, there are tons of environments out there if you just look. So when I was working with my client and she said, how do I get connected here, I like literally rattled off like 10 places that she hasn't even looked. And she was just shocked. I mean, some of them were, you guys know this. And if you know different places where people can get connected, put it up in the comments so other people learn too. In your own hometown, Chamber of Commerce, right? There are red carpet events that you can attend, learn about the business, push other people out, share your business cards, things like that. There are red ribbon cutting events with chamber of it's the same thing, I guess, is the red carpet thing. Just getting involved in your chamber is great. So that was one thing that I told her to do. I am super super excited because this week in Fort Collins is Fort Collins Startup Week, a week full of free classes. I will be posting here, and I will probably come next Monday, or maybe I'll jump on this week. I don't know. I haven't decided about what I'm going to learn at Fort Collins Startup Week. I actually took off work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday out of my clinic because I want to spend time learning and meeting people in my own community. And so there are a lot of startup weeks. It's free classes put on by different entrepreneurs, business owners, people that just want to share knowledge. So that's another place that you can find connections. But again, remember my first thing about when you're investing in yourself, have a plan. So I have a plan. I have a schedule of all these classes that I want to take. I have a schedule looking at the presenters. You know what? I do want to go and talk to this person afterwards because X, Y, and Z. I want to either learn this or talk to them about this or talk to them about this opportunity. So I'm heading in to Fort Collins Startup Week with a plan. Fort Collins Startup Week is where I started my podcast as well. I went to an all day, one full day learning about how to run your own podcast, off and running after that. So there are lots of ways that you can find environments to connect, meetups, like I said, workshops, events, networking groups. When I first moved to town, I did lunch networking groups where you stand up and you give your little minute spiel of or your elevator speech of this is what I do, this is the kind of referrals that I need. You sit down and then you think about, as people are going through their 1 minute elevator speeches, oh, I could totally either use them and I could refer to them, or maybe they can refer to me. I'm going to talk to them after the lunch, whatever it is. So there are lots of different ways that you can get out there and network depending on what you prefer. Those types of things, a lot of people don't like those networking things because you get up and it's a minute and everybody knows. But when people walk into those types of networking luncheons, some people love it because that's what they know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to get up, talk, I'm going to pass out business cards. So whatever you prefer, be comfortable with it. Step out of your comfort zone and maybe try something new. So, those are some of my ideas that I wanted you to just think about, right? And so, I will just kind of put it up again, my three different ways or three different ideas of how you can make connections, business connections. Number one is investing in yourself, going to some of these different conferences, stepping out of your comfort zone. Number two is using social media appropriately. I'm always going to talk about technology and social media because I totally believe that you can make authentic and genuine connections through social media. And then the third one is creating environments to connect. If you can't find your own environments, go out there and create them yourself. Accept that coffee date, accept that phone call, accept that let's go out and have drinks, so that we can kind of talk about some ideas. Whatever it is, get out there and do it yourself. So I just wanted to thank you guys all for joining in. I've got some great comments here. Thank you guys. So if there's anything else that you think of when you're watching this on the replay, put it up in the comments so that we can all share and learn from each other. Because again, I want us to all collaborate on everything that we're doing moving forward, because together we're stronger as a team and we're going to make bigger impact than if we hold information to ourselves and we don't share it, right? So this is a collaborative space. This is an environment that I'm trying to connect to you guys. I'm trying to get you guys connected to each other. But again, I want you guys to share anything else that you think of when you come back and you watch this on the replay. And I am so glad that you joined me. So thank you for joining me tonight. I will be back unless I pop on sometime during the startup week because I have so much information. But I will be back for sure next Monday, 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Just Connect. So thanks for joining me. All right. Bye.